Continue.
So let's continue from where we left last time. Advanced Management Accounting. We are revising April 2025 as well as August 2023. You can see that question there. The first question is April 2025, question 4B. It continues on the other side. So you can have number 3, 4, and 5. The questions are there. Then after that, we look at the other question, that is August 2023, question 1B. Now let's go on the other side, and then we have the solution for that. So we have our solutions here. You are given that information for April 2025, question 4B. I just give you the solution very fast. Now, number one, write down the multiple linear regression function. Y is equals to a plus b1 x1 plus b2 x2. So the answers are here. You take 507.3 plus 7.83 x1 plus 0.10 x2. So this is the answer for the first question. That is the multiple linear regression function. Now you have gone to number 3, additional information number 3, where you are given the parameter estimate table. You have taken your A is 507, you find that number there, plus variable, you are given x variable 1 and x variable 2. So you just take 7.83 x1, then you plus 0.10 x2. I have rounded these numbers to 2 decimal places. There are other decimal places there. So the answer for number 1 is 507.3 plus 7.83 x1 plus 0.10 x2. Question number 2. Suppose in the month of April 2025, Logonaut division expected to have 350 orders with 17,000 kilograms of material on hand. Predict the total material handling cost for April 2025. Remember, 350 orders. The orders are represented by x1, and then kilograms ordered is represented by x2. So you just need to substitute the numbers here, the orders, out of this equation. So just take 507.3, which is your A, plus 7.83 multiplied by 350 orders, plus 0.1 times 17,000 kilograms, and then you have your solution. So the answer for number 2 is 5,118.3. That's the answer for that. Number 3, compute the values of missing letters W and X. So note that W is a sum of squares, SS. How do you calculate sum of squares? You take MS times DF. MS means mean of square times degree of freedom. The mean of square is given there, you find is 57, that's 9.99, times degree of freedom, 7. So these ones are given. You can find them there in that particular table. So our sum of square is 4,179.93. So note what you have done here, how you have multiplied those numbers. So the value for W, or in other words, the sum of square at that level is 4,179.93. The value of Z. So note that the Z is the standard error. I think Z is the standard error. So how do we calculate standard error? I have started by giving you the formula for calculating T statistic. You may get a question where you are required to calculate the T statistic. So, but we needed the standard error, which is given by coefficient over T statistic. The coefficient from the question is 7.835162 divided by T statistic, that 3.47672. When you divide the standard error, you get that as your answer. So that was question number 3. Compute the values of missing letters, that is W and Z. Then number 4, explain the significance of regression statistic output of R square of 0.998841. Now remember, the other name for R square is the coefficient of determination. So what is the meaning of that? In other words, what does it mean by that R square? What is the meaning of R square? We have said that the regression equation explains 0.998841 or 99.8841% of the variation in the holding cost of materials, and the unexplained variation is 0.001159. So what it means is that the R square, which you have been given there, 0.998841, it explains the variation in the x-axis if you compare with what is in the y-axis. So that is the answer for that. So simply, 99% has been explained, the remaining is unexplained in terms of variation. Then lastly is based on T ratio value, explain whether the number of orders or number of kilograms ordered is more significant in predicting the total material handling cost. You just need to compare the T ratios. The higher the ratio, the better in terms of prediction. So we are comparing X1 and X2. So find that X1, the T ratio for X1 is 33.47, and then for X2 is 28.64. You find those numbers in that particular paper. That is, you are given the T ratios for X1 variable and you compare with what is in the y-axis. So that is the answer for that. So simply, 99% has been explained, the remaining is unexplained in terms of variation. Then lastly is based on T ratio value, explain whether the number of orders or number of kilograms ordered is more significant in predicting the total material handling cost. You just need to compare the T ratios. The higher the ratio, the better in terms of prediction. So we are comparing X1 and X2. So find that X1, the T ratio for X1 is 33.47, and then for X2 is 28.64. You find those numbers in that particular paper. That is, you are given the T ratios for X1 variable and X2 variable. So you realize that 33.47672 is higher than 28.6464,286. So the best in terms of prediction, the best is X1, which is number of orders. That will be said that the higher the T ratio, the better the predictor. X1, i.e. number of orders, is important for material handling prediction. So that is the April 2025 question 4B. Then the other, which is the last question, which we also did, is on the other side, is August 2023 question 1B, just as with the other. So note that this is a single regression. The first one that we did was a multiple regression. You can see here, there are several factors which are influencing the Y or the dependent variable. In our case here, the question we are doing is that we have only one variable, that is X. So question number 1, the linear regression equation in the form Y is equals to A plus BX. Simply, 509 is the intercept. You look at the coefficients given down there. Intercept 509 with plus 29.40 as your X. And that is the answer for number 1. Number 2, they are asking you, predict the total cost of repair if 14 hours are used. Just substitute here with 14. You have your equation here, so you just need to multiply X by 14 when you have spent 14 hours. and then your answer, you get 921.59. Number 3, compute the values of the missing letters x and y. Just as with the other, the value of x is a mean of square. The mean of square is given by SS over DF. SS is 4146.476 divided by 4. 4 is the BF, the degree of freedom, and the MS is 10.6.619. Number B, T statistic, value of y. Y is the T statistic. How do we compute that? T statistic is given by coefficient over standard error. Coefficient is 509.9119 divided by standard error 45.55789, and the T statistic is 11.1926145. Number 4, the question is explain the explanatory power of the model using the coefficient of determination. Just as with this case here, coefficient of determination is the same as R square, and we said that coefficient of determination, or R square, it means that the regression equation explains 0.969285 or 96.9285% of the variation in total repair cost, and the unexplained variation is 3.07. So in other words, you have been given a coefficient of determination of 0.969285 is the R square, where your question starts. So that's the meaning of R square of 0.969285. That is the equation, the regression equation. This regression equation here explains a variation in what you have in the y-axis. Then the other question, and that's the last one, explain if the independent variable is economically plausible as a predictor variable. The meaning of the term plausible is, does that relationship make economic sense? Now, in our question here, our regression equation is given by y is equals to a plus bx. Y is equals to 509 plus 29x. So this is a positive slope. It means that the more the cost, I think we are having the cost here. What was y? Y is the total repair cost. Okay, the x is the level of repair activity. So it means that the more the repair activity, the more the repair cost. So it makes sense. So this equation has economic plausibility because the more the repair, the more the total repair cost. We have tried to do some illustration here to prove whether it is correct. Assuming our x is 1, repair cost, the repair cost is, we have 1, we have 2, 10, and 14. Then you substitute with this equation here, you realize that the more the x, the more the y. So that is simply the answer, that equation makes economic sense. So it is economically plausible. So that is the end of our revision for today, the two past papers, April 2025, question 1, question 4B, and August 2023, question 1B. So that is the end of our lesson for today. So we can meet next time for more revision classes. My name is Mr. William. You can subscribe to our YouTube. You'll get more updates as you continue revising for the forthcoming examination next month. So meet again. Thank you.